And honor to bring back to the stage a gentleman who is a second-generation aerobatic megastar. His name is Kyle Franklin, and he is flying for you today the Waco Mystery Ship. Look high and overhead. The smoke is on. He's at 3,000 feet above the ground. Franklin is one of the youngest airshow professionals in the airshow industry. He's the only son of legendary airshow pilot Jimmy Franklin, and he's been performing at airshows for over 10 years and has been around aviation his entire life. Watch him. He goes in to a spin. There's one turn, two turns, three turns. He dives this 1940s vintage Waco biplane, a Waco, W-A-C-O, built by the Weaver Airplane Company in Troy, Ohio. Kyle's father, Jimmy Franklin, taught him to fly when he was just 8 years old. Then later taught him aerobatics in a Super Cub. Kyle is now an accomplished pilot of over 19 years. At the age of 8, Kyle fell in love with DeLorean cars, and as a sophomore in high school, he bought a DeLorean of his own and modified it with a bigger engine, a flamethrower, and an oil slick and smoke system. Yes, indeed. Now, this inverted flat spin, this could kill you, but this is not what's going to take this guy. He's got it totally under control as he recovers from the inverted flat spin. Let's hear it for the son of the legend, Kyle Franklin. This highly modified Waco biplane originally started its life with a 220 horsepower engine on it. But Kyle has it outfitted with a 450 horsepower Pratt & Whitney Wasp Jr. radial engine, giving it amazing power, amazing speed, amazing agility, and makes it the perfect airplane for a talented pilot like Kyle Franklin. From the left, as he dives down toward the ground, look how low he's going to get it. Right down on the deck, accelerating down through 200 miles an hour. He comes up, he goes look at how crisp that is. Wow, 4 points stopping the aircraft every 90 degrees. You can see that clip stop right in between each of those points of the roll. He is one talented pilot. This is the Mystery Ship. The aircraft the original Mystery Ship was, and this one now is going into the vertical over the top. Watch as he goes over the top for a beautiful barnstormer's loop. There have been some significant modifications to this airplane, one of which was the fact that the pilot's cockpit was moved back 30 inches to compensate for the additional weight of that big 450 horsepower engine that's pulling it through the sky. As he runs it out of airspeed, watch what happens. Pulls hard on the stick. The inside Humpty Bump now with a half a roll gets himself lined up once again. Diving towards stage center. With the smoke on, painting these figures in the sky. Kyle Franklin now continues to climb, keeping this show up close and personal, just like the days of the Barnstormers. A half a roll with point rolls into the upright position. Human aid. Now gets into some G's. Oh, 6 times the normal pull of gravity as he takes it around to the left. There's a loaded roll. Oh boy, and a half almost, and gets her turned around very, very rapidly. Just like the original Mystery Ship you'll see flying before you today, it's got a steel tube and plywood covered fuselage that's 20 inches in length. Sometimes it's Two hands on the stick for this guy because it's a big airplane, and to make it do these abrupt maneuvers, he's working very hard in here. This guy works out just about every day. I don't think there's an ounce of body fat on this guy. He is all muscle. He is a superb aerial entertainer. Goes into a tumble all the way up, an ascending tumble in a Waco biplane. Unbelievable. Let's put your hands together for Kyle Franklin once again. I am watching stuff that I am just not believing right now. This guy has improved year after year in the business. He's got some time actually as one of the youngest wing walkers in the world. When his dad was flying the Mystery Ship at the age of, I believe, 10 years old. No, when he was just a teenager, Kyle actually stood on the wing, going into an 8-point hesitation roll, stopping it precisely every 45 degrees. There's 7 and there's 8. The 8-point hesitation roll. When he was 17, he was wing walking professionally at air shows with his dad on the Waco Mystery Ship, the youngest wing walker. And then when his dad got his jet-powered Waco, looking straight down, going into sliding flight, continuing to climb. His dad had the jet-powered Waco with a 450 horsepower engine on the front and a Learjet engine on the bottom. And young Kyle Franklin actually wing-walked on that airplane as well. Climbing, 600, 700, 750 feet above the ground, rolls the airplane upright and continues out to the left. Now, we've seen some folks do what is known as a torque roll. It's easier to do in a monoplane than it is in an airplane of this kind. I want you to keep your eyes on this. I don't think anybody in the country is doing this kind of a maneuver in this airplane. Watch him. He'll slow the airplane down. That 450 horsepower engine turns to the right from his viewpoint, and it will force the airplane to turn to the left as he climbs, strains, pause for altitude, rolls it over, spins it once, and on the way down. Now watch him go into the vertical. Here we go. Watch the airplane begin to roll to the left. The torque of the engine forces the airplane that way. As he begins to go backwards, all the controls will be reversed. Look at this. Backwards, backwards. The airplane continues to roll. Backwards, backwards. 50, 60, 70, 80 miles an hour in the Waco biplane and into almost a little bit of a flat spin. That's the man you gotta give it up for. The incomparable and greatly talented Kyle Franklin. Oh, yes indeed. I love what I'm seeing here today. Lay down and die. With a 1/2 Cuban 8 maneuver, that horizontally to the sky. Straight up, pushes over the top with a tumble. That is called a Lumshabak. That is a maneuver that is based on a Czech word that means walking with an inebriated gait. Too much of the national drink, plum brandy, and you do a Lumshabak right off the curb. In this case, Kyle Franklin does it in a 1940 vintage Waco Mystery Ship. He does the hammerhead turn. Kyle wants to make sure that we thank his sponsors: Aircraft Specialty Services, Univair, Tulsa Aircraft Engines, Blaylock Aviation, Senesich Propellers, Leading Edge Exhaust Systems, Hardy Aviation Insurance, Lincoln Electric, Goodyear Tires, Champion Aerospace, Concord Battery, Cleveland Wheels and Brakes, street graffiti, and now's the time to get your cameras ready because he's going to do a photo pass as he dives right towards show center. He'll put it up on the right wing, lots of right aileron and lots of left rudder. He can see all the way down the line. Thanks too to Pacific Oil Cooler Incorporated, Oregon Aero, Kelly Aerospace, Barrett Precision Engines, Hooker Harness, and Mutt Muffs. If you'd like more information on Kyle Franklin, the Waco, and the other acts he flies, you can visit FranklinAirshow.com. Look at this incredible biplane that goes faster than any other Waco I've ever seen in my life. Does a little victory roll of his own here. After a successful performance, he's going to bring her into land. And in a couple of moments, we're going to do something very, very special down by the F-22 Raptor as we see the B-25 Panchito representing the disabled American veterans. It is taking off right now for its demonstration a little bit later on. One of 9,800 of those airplanes that have been built. The B-25 will depart as Kyle Franklin brings it into land.
Yeah, I got a whole military playset. I got lots of army men. I got so many army men, and I got a lot of tanks. And that store has a tank, and it has some kind of car. That's what quiet. Oh, the guy's landing. He's okay, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is something that we would like to do that is very, very special. And that is, we're going to have the opportunity to see a group of young men and women, Americans. They're down by the F-22 Raptor, and they are choosing today to join your United States Air Force.
They decided to answer their nation's call. And in a couple minutes here, they're going to raise their right hand and they're going to repeat a very solemn oath in front of you, in front of me as the administrating official, and in front of their God and their country. And what that oath means to all of us in the military is that they are getting ready to swear that they will give everything and do anything, up to and including giving their lives to defend and support our great nation. So if you would please, if you can stand, I ask you to do so. Remove your covers if you have them on, and we'll go ahead and administer the oath. Everybody ready? Okay, stand up tall and raise your right hand and repeat after me.